If you have been working hard and showing up and doing everything that you've been told that you need to do, and it feels like nothing's happening, I want to challenge one belief that could be stealing years from you. What if the problem isn't the work ethic, but the way that you've been interpreting rejection? There's one man who heard over 1,000 times no, and that is the very reason why he succeeded. But that's not the lesson here. The lessons here is why you keep quitting before your breakthrough has a chance to happen. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at failure the same way. Here's the mistake that almost nobody's talking about. They think that rejection answers the question, can I succeed? It doesn't. It only answers one question. Did the attempt work? But those are completely different questions. Yet every day, people confuse them. One customer says no and the interview didn't work. One business struggles, one video only got 300 views. Suddenly they conclude, I'm just not worked out for this. No, you're making a permanent decision based on temporary details. But that's where dreams quietly die. Once you hear what happened to one 65-year-old man, you'll realize where most people walk away from their potential success. Before anyone called him Colonel Sanders, Harland Sanders looked like life had just passed him by. This is a man who had worked countless jobs. Some of them had ended, and some of them he got fired from, and some of them failed. Some of them just simply weren't the right fit. Eventually, he built a successful roadside restaurant, serving fried chicken. Years of work, years of sacrifice. Then something happened in life you just can't control. A new highway had redirected all the traffic that was driving by his business. And almost overnight, the customers, they just disappeared. Imagine building something for years, and then just seemingly overnight, because of decisions somebody else made, it just disappears on you. Most people would have quit, and understandably so, but instead, Colonel Sanders asked a powerful question. Not why did this happen, but what do I still have? And that's the question that changed everything, because this next decision is the decision that almost nobody makes. And this is the reason why his story, decades later, is still being told. He realized something powerful. The building and the restaurant was gone, but he still had something. He still had his experience and his knowledge, his skills, his recipes. He still had something to work with here. He had only lost the place where he was using that knowledge. He only lost where he was using that knowledge. Often, life doesn't remove your abilities, but only the environment you've been operating in. So instead of rebuilding the restaurant somewhere else, he decided to go on the road with his recipe. He drove all over the place, from restaurant to 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 restaurant. Oh yeah, that one over there too, that restaurant. And they all just kept saying, no, 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 no. Our recipes are better than yours. He had over 1,000 rejections. Talk about the faith in this man. Talk about his vision, his stick-to-itiveness. Now think about this. What would you have said to yourself after your 20th, your 50th, or your 100th rejection? That's the real battle, not the rejection. Your personal identity. Are you gonna do it? That's it, period. So many motivational videos out there will tell you something like, just believe. But it's not enough. There's something so much more useful. Sanders didn't need confidence. He needed information. And every single time he got told no, he learned just a little bit about it, and he kept refining and refining his pitch. I've been going through something similar, and I can totally relate with the Sanders situation. I have been told 100% of the time with this new deal and so forth that I've been working with. Approach after approach, people after people, 100% failure rate. I will share more story and how I was able to turn this whole thing around to my advantage. You watch. And I will tell you sooner than later the rest of the story. So with Sanders, what did it teach him? What did it teach me? What is it going to teach you? Those questions ask completely different futures. And eventually, you're going to get that yes. But here's what's fascinating. His success did not just begin when finally somebody told him yes. Success for him was when he stopped treating the rejections as the ultimate no or the verdict. Just keep going. What do you have to lose? But I have everything to gain. One of the biggest lessons that I have learned when building up my business, I've had those really favorite customers, the ones who even tell you that you're their favorite. And you go give them a bid, and this is a true story. It just happened today to me. I'm reluctant to say her name, but she would just profess about how much she liked me and doing business with me and all of our history together and the years we've been working together and all the things I had done for her. And I gave her a bid a few days ago, and from what I understand, like $400 difference, and she went with somebody else and just didn't even give you a chance. There's been many times where it felt like for months at a time in business where you're just barely just squeaking by. It's just barely. There's just hardly nothing going on, and all you're doing is just trying to get to the next summer season, summer in the cycle of business, just where you can be able to get to the point where you can just start making some money again. Those moments will mess with your head. You'll ask yourself inside and out, am I good enough? Or did I do something wrong? Is this bad karma? Do I need to pray more? It'll make you question a lot of things. Wondering if you should pivot, if you're wasting your time. I certainly could use this effectively to my benefit as well. I'm just going to sit down and just ride this roller coaster. I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to participate in the recession. Some of the biggest, and I mean biggest, sweetest, best deals in my whole life came to me when they were ready for me, not when I was ready and wishing and hoping and whatever for them. When they were ready for me. Luck is when you're prepared to take advantage of a situation when the opportunity presents itself. And if I had quit when the times got tough, I would have never met the customer who was just gonna change everything. The opportunities weren't waiting for somebody who was more talented. It was waiting for somebody who wouldn't leave. So how do you know when you should stop or keep going? Or if you're actually, truly, legitimately, through and through, absolutely wasting your time. Here's the framework that I use. Whenever life, in whatever capacity, relationships, business, whatever, tells me no, I ask myself 3 questions. First one, did I improve? If yes, then today was a success. Second, what did the rejection teach me? Because every rejection teaches you something, like something that I need to fix, or at least gives you more information. Third, am I talking to the wrong people, or am I trying to solve the wrong problem? Notice what's not on the list. Am I good enough, like for an example? Because rejection cannot answer that question. Only time will tell. People think that success belongs to the smartest or the richest people, but it's not always true. Success usually belongs to the people who are willing to outlast everyone after everyone has emotionally checked out. Colonel Sanders didn't become successful because he avoided rejection. He became successful because he outlasted the rejection. Maybe that's exactly what you need. Not more motivation, not another productivity hack, or some kind of morning routine. Maybe you need to just stop treating today's results as if it's the final chapter of your life. Because it isn't. The future has no obligation to look like today. Your next breakthrough has no idea how discouraged you are right now. So don't let yesterday's no write tomorrow's story. One quote has stayed with me through every difficult season of my life. Rejection isn't the opposite of success, but the price of admission. The question isn't, how many times have you failed? The real question is, are you still moving? Because people who build the most extraordinary lives typically aren't the most gifted. That's why I named this channel Invisible to Successful. They're the ones who refused to stop before the success came from the next conversation. Share this video with somebody who's only one rejection away from quitting. If this video helped you rethink about how you think of rejections, write it in the comments. What is one way that no has helped improve your life? I read every comment or try to reply to every single one of them. If you're trying to build a business, a career, or a better version of yourself, subscribe! Every week, we're teaching ordinary people how to build extraordinary lives.